Hey guys, Tara here, and today I am sitting with Takenaka-san. He is the producer of Resident Evil Revelations, which was just announced is going to be coming to consoles this May. I guess probably my first question is, why consoles? Was this purely motivated by sales or something else?
The
game was really well received on 3DS, as you probably know, and we just want to be able to bring that experience to as many players as possible by porting to the consoles and PC. We also just had a lot of user feedback ever since the game came out on 3DS that they'd love to experience that classic survival horror Resident Evil game on a big screen TV at home. So we're just kind of responding to that feedback.
What is it about the game that you think made it resonate so well with fans?
Well, our main aim in the project was to really make a classic Resident Evil survival horror experience like people love from the games of old in the series. And I think we were able to see from how the game performed that that was something we succeeded in doing.
Part of what I also think made it resonate so well with fans is the fact that it did kind of bring back a lot of the survival horror elements of the Resident Evil franchise. Is that something that you think is going to shape future Resident Evil titles?
First of all, thanks for, I appreciate the kind words about the game, that you felt it was definitely up there with the classics, but the way that angle we took on the game has been well received, will definitely have an influence on how we look at the series going forward. It was our aim to do that with the game, and yeah, we can't ignore the feedback we've had on that.
What challenges are there when porting a game like this to consoles? Because there are obvious technical limitations like, the lack of HD and just the small screen size on the 3DS. What kind of challenges are there to overcome in this?
Well, as you can imagine, taking something from the 3DS, it's a couple of inches on the screen, to HD TVs, having the graphics stand up to examination of that size was a big challenge. But also, the lighting and the filters and effects like that were already designed for the 3DS specifically. So when you take it to a television, you really have to retune and redesign all that stuff, and that was a challenge, although it was a very fun one to take on.
What do you plan on adding to the console version, aside from the obvious technical upgrades?
Well, apart from the technical stuff in the HD upgrade, there's a lot of additional features. For example, raid mode has lots of new custom parts and skills. Characters are there as well. As you said, there's a new enemy that's been added to both the campaign and raid mode. It's not so much because there's a sort of a space on the screen created by bringing it to HD TVs, but more that we knew that some people playing the game would have been through the campaign once on 3DS, and we want to be able to surprise even those players with a kind of a new beat in the mix, something that they wouldn't be expecting.
So it was recently announced that Resident Evil, despite selling 5 million copies, is still considered sort of a failure by Capcom. Do you guys feel the same amount of pressure for Revelations?
As a producer, sales of the game are something that I obviously have to be very concerned about, but I don't feel pressure from any kind of external results of other titles, for example. It's more that my job is to make sure that I get the message about this new title out to as many players as possible, and that's where I feel the pressure.
Do you have plans to ever bring Revelations to the PlayStation Vita?
Well, I can't obviously let you know concretely about any plans we might have in the future. Releases like that are always something that we would undertake with a view to responding to any strong user feedback that we would get.
Well, I think it's interesting that it's coming to not only Xbox and PS3, but also Wii U, because the Wii U, I think, in its short time since its release, has proven that it can perform really well for survival horror games. The number one example that comes to mind is Zombie U. How exactly is Revelations going to leverage the Wii U's capabilities in that regard?
The gamepad is obviously one major feature that the Wii U has that other consoles don't have, with the screen built into it. So first of all, you'll be able to play it as a kind of a two-screen mode, where the main game action takes place on the television and you've got your items or your map are displayed on the tablet controller. We also support off-TV play, so theoretically, if you had your Wii U, your gamepad and a power outlet, you could play the game anywhere.
Well, I'm definitely excited for this game, particularly the Wii U version. I think that console needs more survival horror games because it works wonderfully. This is going to be out on May 21st in North America for Xbox 360, PC, PS3, and Wii U. Takenaka-san, thank you so much for speaking with me. Thank you.